Hi, my name is Michaela Parker. I am doing my case study on a little boy named Theodore Smith. Real quick before I get started, I'm going to first go over the student information about him a little bit, then behavior, insight on triggers, what works, what doesn't work, classroom management and teacher perspectives will come next, and then parent communication and behavior plan development, and lastly, data collection and references. Okay, student information. This is Theodore Smith. His ethnicity is white. He is 7 years old. He enjoys doing mazes and telling jokes. He likes to draw and get his thoughts and emotions out through art. He enjoys adult connections, great sense of humor. He is creative and imaginative. Theo is not on an IEP, but they are in the process of getting him on a 504 plan for his anxiety, and some of his key tendencies are work avoidance. He thinks very negatively. He's physically violent, and he is a questioner. He likes to question, why are you asking me to do this? All right, so more behavioral issues, more specifically. He has a lot of trouble keeping his body to himself. He has shoved people, he's strangled people, he's grabbed other students, he's showed them inappropriate hand gestures, he's kicked items over, he struggles with appropriate speech, he has very negative self-talk, so he'll say, I can't do something, I just can't do it. He'll say to other teachers and students, you suck, or keep failing. He is destructive. He has attempted to topple over a bookcase. He's injured and killed a frog at recess. And then he just really struggles with work completion and maintaining motivation to do his work. Some insight on his triggers. So after talking with his teacher, anxiety seems to be the biggest one. Any sort of change that happens that's unexpected or expected is really hard for him, and a lot of that anxiety comes out in rudeness and defiance. He eats all the time. That's kind of one of the accommodations the teacher has allowed him to do. It's just something that he is anxious about, and that kind of calms him down. Like I said, anything to do with change. If there's a substitute, he acts out. If there's a scheduling change, he'll act out. When he gets frustrated, that's also a trigger. He'll shut down and he won't want to talk to anybody. He just says nothing. He's completely silent. And then he has drawn pictures a little bit to show that frustration. He drew a picture at the beginning of the year of all the second grade teachers killing everyone. Any transitions, so inside to outside or subject to subject, he struggles with. And then any sort of correction, like I said, he just questions authority and wants to know why. All right, this teacher said that involving Theo's parents has worked. She's in the kind of the habit of reporting on his behavior daily. Incentives and rewards have been very successful for him. Some reinforcers are he gets jelly beans if he does well, and positive praise. They have also had to do some one-to-one supervision out on the playground with him. He's had to be watched at all times on the playground, and that has been effective. And then also sometimes he'll sit closer to the teacher, and also he does not like to sit at the carpet with the other kids when they have carpet time, so he is allowed to sit at his desk, and that just works for him. Some things that don't work are any sort of leniency or showing a little bit too much empathy for him. He'll kind of walk all over that. You need to be really firm with him. Ignoring his behavior is not very effective. He just keeps doing it. I don't really think it's an attention thing. And then argument and power struggles, you always want to stay away from that. Some possible reinforcers for some of his bad behavior are just other student encouragement, laughter from other kids. And then I pulled a quote from an article that we had in our reading and viewing assignments today. It says, contrary to the belief of many teachers, most students want an authoritative, caring adult in the classroom, one who has a consistent approach to dealing with all students. And I chose that quote because a lot of times that is the case where students need and they like the firm adult who kind of doesn't let them get away with things, because kids crave structure. Classroom management and teacher perspective. So Mrs. Peter is Theo's teacher. She does transition songs, and that helps with her transitions just to keep the timing of them down. The students need to have their materials out and ready to go by the end of the song. She also is a school-wide policy of magic 1, 2, 3. First you get a correction, your second time you get corrected and you get moved to be more successful in a different spot. And then if there's a third time that she has to talk to you about something, it's an office referral. Our school motto is being safe, respectful, responsible at all times. That kind of, all the rules kind of fall under those categories. And then she's really good at modeling expectations about what things look like, feel like, sound like. Her perspective on her personal bias is that she tries to create a relationship with each and every student. If there's a child who she knows can't handle something, she will allow them to sit in a different spot or use a whiteboard instead of paper, things like that. Cultural responsiveness. Mrs. Peter has created trust and a feeling of safety for each and every student in her classroom. She acknowledges and celebrates that everyone's different and everyone has strengths and weaknesses so that everybody feels comfortable and welcome. Mrs. Peter is also very good at the social skills, and I think this is just something that she's really naturally good at. I pulled this from our textbook from the course because I just noticed a lot of these things this teacher is just very good at. So she just describes each step for, any sort of activity. What does it look like? What does it sound like? She breaks things down into specific steps. She tells the kids why they're doing certain things, why there's a rule, why things are happening a certain way. She models so wonderfully and clearly. She provides opportunities for kids to practice and role play. She gives very specific feedback. And then she just reinforces, she just holds the kids to very high expectations. All right, so parent communication right now with Theo is pretty great. They're very involved. Each day they're given a report about his day. That report either leads to a positive or negative consequence at home. And if his work was not completed, they do it at home. So that's very, very helpful for Miss Peter. They are in the process of creating a 504 plan for him. Because of the effect his anxiety has on him. And so that is in process. But as of now, Theo has not really been involved in the behavior plan at this point, just because he's kind of young and hard to reason with at some points in time. All right, and then I just have some real quick notes about some data collection that I did. This form had a trigger expectation, skills and challenging behaviors, so that was kind of nice for me to separate all of these things and get them kind of straight with each other. But the thing that I really wanted to go over is I went through this with his teacher because I wasn't able to observe all of these things. And there is kind of a scale that we're rating him on, from consistent strength to sometimes a strength depends, sometimes difficult and consistently difficult. And the thing that I thought was interesting, that kind of goes with all the things that I have been noticing and his teacher's been noticing, is that the emotion and self-regulation skills and the cognitive flexibility skills were very, very low, very, very difficult for him. Managing irritability and anxiety, he does not do that in an age-appropriate way. He can't handle transitions. He can't handle the deviations from the normal routine or original plans, unpredictability, stuff like that. So I thought that that kind of aligned really well with what the teacher was seeing in the classroom. And that is it.